Coach Bryan Turner here again with another edition of the Bryan Turner Basketball Podcast, and I got a special edition. All right, someone that I grew up, well, not grew up, but I watched growing up playing basketball, watching his career. I'm always intrigued by like young folks and guys who've played who decide to transition into being on one side of the court and then deciding to come over on the other side of the court. And so you did it at a great time. I feel like you fresh out of playing, but still in that realm of, getting into education, really taking this coaching thing serious. Hats off to you. I have Jahmouri Robinson of Cardinal Ritter College Prep. Am I right? That's right? Cardinal Ritter College Prep, class of
2015,
man. Y'all making me feel super duper old, man. 2015, man. So 10 years and passed by. Got Coach Robinson here because I want to make sure that when people listening, you a coach now, right?
Yeah.
So you a coach. We gonna jump into the background and everything, but let the audience know right now, man, how you feel, how you doing. Are you excited about the season? And step into it and just give us some little nuggets real quick. So you doing great so far?
I'm doing great. I can't complain. Like I said, it's been 10 years. I just actually had my 10-year class reunion last weekend from Cardinal Ritter. So that was pretty crazy, kind of going back, seeing a lot of people I went to school with. No, I'm most definitely excited about the season. I coach over at Parkway North, the varsity girls head coach over there. This is my second season. We had a pretty good first year. As a first-year coach, we went 18-10 last year. The year before that, they only won 8 games for me to come in there, as a first-year coach, and improved 10-plus wins than they did the year before. I thought that was pretty good. So going into year 2 with some higher expectations, so I'm really excited for it.
Mm-hmm. So just tell the audience real quick, what, basketball pedigree, you went to a powerhouse growing up as far as high school, man, put up some huge numbers, names up on so many different lists at the school. School is a powerhouse, is one of the top programs in the state of Missouri and in the country, to be honest. But take us back. What drew you into basketball at whatever age you decided to start playing? So what age did you kind of pick up the ball and say, man, you know what, I like this?
So I stay over here on the west side of St. Louis. It's the YMCA over here on Page. It's like my neighborhood YMCA. I grew up playing basketball there. Probably first started playing about the age of 3 on a little YMCA team up there at the Y, and just kind of just fell in love with the game ever since I was 3 years old. Basketball took me so many places. I grew up playing AAU, played for a team, Ramey in high school. Growing up elementary, probably played this thing called the Pal Magic. So I'm played a lot of basketball, really, tied in St. Louis wise with all the people growing up playing basketball. But I truly love the game. I still love it. So I couldn't see myself getting away from it. That's why I decided to kind of get into some coaching, because I love it too much to stay away from it.
Mm-hmm. And I think you fit the mold of exactly why we get into it. We got so much basketball knowledge. We've been playing for a long time, and we don't want all of this stuff to go to waste. I kind of take it back even to like my journey. I look at, you develop a skill set that you can only use in this arena of basketball, where you develop a skill set of playing. Then you develop all of this knowledge, but it's kind of like, if you decide not to get into coaching, where do you take all of that knowledge that you've probably gained over 15, 20 years of your life and give it back? And for a lot of us, and we'll jump into it, we kind of get into it, but I think like a lot of guys struggle with making that transition. Before we even get there, kind of tell the audience a little bit, man, what was it like stepping into Cardinal Ritter, knowing that Cardinal Ritter was like, again, a powerhouse, and now here you are, a point guard, going into a program to where, it's pretty much like every year you guys are expected to either go to state or win state. What type of pressure were you under going into high school? And what can you tell the future 14-year-old, 15-year-old that's about to experience their first high school practice, what this is going to be like? So I know it's kind of twofold, but kind of tell the audience a little bit of take us there, take us through, man. I'm walking in Cardinal Ritter for the first day. I'm a point guard, and I know that I'm in basketball lore pretty much, right? Tell us how that was walking in.
Okay, humbly speaking, as an eighth grader, would say I was one of the better eighth graders in my class. I had a lot of buzz to me. A lot of high school wanted to know where I was going to high school. Mr. Niels, Coach Niels, he saw me play as an eighth grader. And he kind of referred to my dad, hey, you should bring him to Ritter. So I said, okay. They didn't have many point guards. I noticed that I was a point guard. They were loaded at every other position, but they were like, I just felt like if I got into the school, they were going to have to notice me. So I think I played 3 JV games my freshman year. And after the third game, Mr. Niels, he called me up. He wanted me to come practice. So it was different because we had Cameron Bishai. I don't even know that name.
Yeah,
He was a senior when I
Shout
was
out to Cam. Everybody know Cam as far as like legend, so
yeah.
Go ahead.
When he was a senior, I was a freshman. And I wanted to play with him. That was my goal. I remember sitting down watching the varsity practice one time, and our starting point guard kind of got into some trouble. Him and the coach were kind of going back and forth. He kicked him out of practice. I happened to just be sitting there watching, and he told me to go get dressed. And after that, it was kind of the rest was history. I think I may have played 2 games. It was a Normandy Christmas tournament. My very first game was a Normandy Christmas tournament. I think we may have played Roosevelt. I played pretty good versus them, and then we had a big game versus Chicago team. And that was kind of like my coming out moment. Like, oh, he's ready. He's ready. We can throw him in that fire. And ever since then, I didn't look back. It was a 4-year starter at Cardinal Ritter, all-time assist leader, won a state title in 2014, scored over 1,000 points. But what I'll tell to a 14-year-old kid that's going into that is stay humble, always be in the gym, work on your game, and listen. You don't know it all because the game is totally different from the middle school range. Come to the high school level, kids are bigger, faster, stronger, and you got to be able to adapt to that. So that's what I would tell someone that's 14 right now is coming off being a really good eighth grader. It's different though coming into the high school level. Some kids don't adapt, some do. I feel like I did. I had to adjust to, I wasn't going to be the best scorer, the best player. That's what I was doing in the 8th grade. We had Cameron Bishai. I'm not going to be the best scorer with him. So my job as a freshman that year was to kind of get him the ball. And that's what I tell a 14-year-old kid, just to be able to adjust on the fly of a different role that you're not used to.
Do you think that it was a culture of toughness, accountability? Like what made Cardinal Ritter culture what people can say, man, this is Cardinal Ritter? Like what were some of the things that you could, if you feel like sharing, that you just like, man, because I know for myself at Beaumont, toughness, we both played for PHL coaches. I played for Bird Hamilton, Coach Niels, Sodan, all the great Sodan teams, the Cardinal Ritter team. So what was about that culture? What were some things that you can kind of take us behind the scenes as a listener that you just like, man, we're a little different. We're cut from a different cloth than maybe some other programs that maybe you've been around or kind of seen from afar. But what was the difference in Cardinal Ritter's culture that just made you just say, man, this is a culture of toughness, accountability, state championship or bust? Like what were some of the things that kind of stood out?
Just say Coach Niels, man, he just held everybody accountable. Like he wasn't afraid to get in your face. He'll talk to you crazy. He was really big on you being mentally prepared. So like he is, some days he'll come to practice and pick on you, say little things, just kind of see like where you gonna go with it. Me being young, I didn't understand that. It was tough for me to like this dude talking to me, like, who is this? You know what I'm saying? I don't know him. But he was really big. I'll say he was really huge on just the mental aspect of the game. And I just feel like that alone, him just being that type of coach, I just feel like he got the best out of players that he coached. I would say that's a huge part of like people like, why is Cardinal Ritter so different? I would say he kind of set the standard immediately day one. You know what I'm saying? We had to cut our hair a certain way. If you didn't like it, you're not playing. You know what I'm saying? So you couldn't, like, it's just what it was. He had standards, had different things how he liked to do. And if you didn't want to do it, you're not playing. So I just say the discipline part that he put into it was huge. And they worked us hard preseason. It was just, it was different. It was for sure different. I feel like he did a good job of just the discipline part and just the mental aspect of the game.
Did you take notes from when, at the time you say the starting point guard was kicked out of practice? Did you take notes on knowing like, when I go into this, he's big on toughness, he's big on accountability, but I also know that it's a certain level that I can get there to go, but not kind of cross the line. Like, were you taking notes on like, oh man, I'm a freshman, man, I'm seeing all of these different seniors. He's doing this, he's doing kind of like how maybe like a little brother may look at like an older brother, like, if he makes a bad choice or a bad decision, I know I'm gonna sit back here and I'm gonna do everything that he didn't do. So I know, hey, this is what I need to do to be successful. Like, were there certain things like that for you that you just like,
100%.
man, I got to take notes on this?
100%. Because my goal coming there was to play varsity. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying. So I would always go check out the varsity practice. I separate myself from my friends that may have been on freshman team or JV. I would go into the varsity practice and sit down and watch it. So I was
Mm.
always a student of the game. So I kind of saw like how he kind of point guards him, the relationships they had, certain different things. One thing that Coach Niels didn't play about is you talking back. So that's one thing that I just have
Fact.
to, yeah, like that's just unacceptable. Like you're not gonna talk back to me, and so that's one thing that I say that I took from it, just kind of being a student, knowing that he's is his way. You know what I'm saying? Is it's just kind of how it is. So that's one
Mhm.
thing that I say that coming into it, I was already prepared that Coach Niels wants to do it this way, so I have to figure out how to adapt his system, how he wants it done, and do it the best way I can for the team.
Yeah, because one of those things that you did, and you probably had to realize something is like, he's done this, it's worked before. So who
Yeah,
am I to come in to be like, I'm not doing it that way, and
right.
being able to speak to a man that one has some success at it, he's had tons of success, and to be honest, it's like if I don't do it, he's gonna find somebody else to do it. I want this opportunity, so
Yeah,
let me fall in line. Is
yeah.
that kind of pretty much where?
That's 100% where it was at. That's the mindset that I had coming into it. Like, I mean, like I said, he was already a proven coach, winner, won, done a lot of things. So me just coming in there, just adapting to how he was trying to do things was probably the best thing I could have done, especially as a freshman coming in there, having the opportunity to even play varsity. A lot of that's not even really heard of at a program like that. So
Right.
I just took that as I just took it around with it and stay humble and just kind of had to do what I had to do my freshman year to kind of get by.
Now, man, what was it like putting that jersey on for the first time? Where it's like, okay, again, you've probably went to some as an eighth grader. I guarantee you probably went to some Cardinal Ritter games,
Oh, I was
and
at
you
all of
probably
them.
imagine yourself, man, I can't wait till I get out there.
Yeah.
Can't wait till I have the opportunity. So, let the audience know, like, what was it like putting that jersey on for the first time, like the night before? Were you one of those kids that laid the jersey out?
Yeah.
Accessories, mom and dad taking pictures. Hey, I might not get in. This jersey nice and clean. I might not get in no more. But then if you get in, now you get in, you have some success, and it's like now you off and running. But tell the audience what it was like to pick the jersey up, put the jersey on for the first time. Were you that type of kid or not?
I was. I remember the very day that I got on varsity that day. I remember coming home, bringing the varsity jersey home to my parents, and my dad and my mom. They thought I was joking. I said I'm going to be playing a JV game, but I'm going to be dressed in varsity that the game the day after that as well. And they like, they like, no, you're not playing no varsity.
Right.
Well, so I showed them the varsity jersey. Had it laid out both jerseys on their bed, and they were just they was in awe because they know like that was my goal, was to kind of get on varsity as a freshman. That was just something I laid out like I had to do it. And for them to kind of see me kind of do what I said I wanted to do, it was kind of like a surreal moment for them, especially at a program like that. And I had the opportunity to play with a guy like Cameron Bishad. It's just, you just can't, those are opportunities, things that you remember forever.
So you speak heavy of Cameron Bishad, and again, Cameron probably one of the, he's probably our version of a Kevin Durant in this era, in this, and I've been around the basketball game since like the early 90s, and to be able to pretty much be a student of the game. And when I came across, following him, because I was still coaching at the time and still involved, being an assistant at St. Mary's. I just finished up at Gateway. So his name was buzzing as far as like, man, you heard about this kid and this kid and this. So with Cameron, who were some of the other kids or people on the team, or maybe it was managers, anybody that pushed you that said, hey Jay, let's stay back and let's get some shots up, or hey, are you going to the Y? You going to the gym after practice? Let's go on over. So did you have guys kind of like pushing you on the team to continue to get better, or was it wasn't really established like that
In
your
all
first couple
honesty,
years?
in all honesty, like my freshman year, I saw Cam. Like after practice, he's standing after getting up extra shots. So like, I said, I'm finna do it. I'm just whatever he doing, I'm doing it. So like
Right.
he's standing after getting up extra shots. He's standing in the locker room, kind of just chilling, hanging out. So I just stay with him, talk basketball with him, talk about like, how is it gonna be like me as being a freshman? Like, what are the things Coach Nails is looking for? Like, what do you think I need to do? So like he kind of just led by example with his hard work. So I kind
Mm-hmm.
of just kind of follow behind the things that he would do, extra preparation before games, get there before everybody else, getting up shots. Right after school, he'd go straight into the gym, be the first one at practice, already shooting. So like stuff
Yeah.
like that, I kind of just like, man, this dude, I'm trying to beat him to the gym. I'm trying to like follow. I'm just whatever he do, I'm just trying to do it. So I would say like him just being a leader by example was something
Mm-hmm.
that I kind of just watched.
What can you tell the audience about because it's something, because again you've been on the traveling circuit, you've been on the youth scene, you've been on the high school scene. What are some of the things that you can kind of say about St. Louis basketball that other cities or other parts of the country really can't fathom that goes on here in St. Louis? Like I feel like we are up there with the Chicagos, the New Yorks, the DCs. When you think about talent that comes out of here, not everybody makes it at that high level, max contract, NBA, but we have so many guys that come out of St. Louis, good, bad, or indifferent, that never reached that potential. But uh, what can you say from just traveling the world, traveling the country, that you can say, man, you can expect this from a St. Louis team?
When you playing a St. Louis team, you're gonna play a team that's tough. They're gonna be tough minded. They're gonna be coming at you. They're not gonna be scared. And like you said, like there's a lot of talent here in St. Louis. I think we one of the most slept on cities. Honestly, we just might not be
Yeah,
the biggest. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like I might travel to like Dallas or Houston. It might be some just more. It's just more people. But like
Mm-hmm.
just in our small city that we have, I feel like when I go travel and see different teams might be a little bigger. We might not be the biggest as far as size,
Right.
but we're gritty. We're tough. And we can just flat out we can play
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Yeah, no, because that's one thing that I always used to trip off of when we play places. So many teams, especially from like the Chicago's and like on the East Coast, they hate our style of play just based on that. Like, man, you finna get pressed,
Yeah,
full court, up in your face. Cause I mean, no matter what organization that you played in growing up in St. Louis, everybody pressed at 2-2-1, 1-2-2, 23. Like everybody pressed, man to man, getting up in your face, running and jumping. So, like what you just said about bigger talent, other places might have bigger, taller kids, but
yeah,
they don't have that. What we lack in height, we make up for with heart,
yep.
tenacity, toughness. And a lot of folks don't like playing that. So it's always something like when we play out of town teams, especially from Chicago and other places, they may look at us and we may not pass the eye test, but
Yeah,
once we get in between the lines, it's a dogfight. Did you
yeah.
have some of those experiences at Cardinal Ritter or?
100%. Like we played this team, like I said, in the Normandy tournament. They were from Chicago. I'm pretty sure as we were warming up, they're like, "Who is this? This little bitty team over here warming up." And as the
Mhm.
game is going on, they realize like they're a little different. Like like how we play at Cardinal, we up in you, we're gritty, we're pressing, we're talking, like we're in your jersey. And they, Chicago people, like they're not used to that happening to them. So
Mhm.
I would say, that's something that I see about St. Louis basketball is that we're just tougher, just flat out toughness. We can go anywhere and compete, no matter the size. Like I said, we might not be the biggest kid. I know it's like we're more of a guard city, not really like a
Mhm.
big type city. So I think we can compete with the best of them. But I most definitely noticed that just being on the coaching scene, even when I'm playing in high school, AAU. Now we never was the biggest kids, but we always competed because we were just tough. I don't know, that's just what we are here in St. Louis.
All right, we got Coach Jahmouri Robinson here, and he's at Parkway North. Yeah, Parkway North. This is your, help me
Second
out.
season
So
coming to my
second season coming in, and again, you didn't have this carved out, or maybe you did, but was there any time that you probably realized, like, man, all right, I'm playing? Because we're talking about your Cardinal Ritter days, but you went on to play at Missouri Baptist.
Missouri Baptist.
Shout out to, man, shout out to Coach Travis Brown. He was my principal, but I mean, he was a legend at
Yeah,
Mobap, and
yeah,
it just was like talking to him. And I mean, he's always been like a mentor. And then when you start to do a deep dive into what type of career that man had, it
yeah,
was like, man, I couldn't imagine. I need to do more just based off hearing all of the stuff that he was able to accomplish.
yeah.
What was some experiences that you had at Missouri Baptist that just was like, man, Cardinal Ritter prepared me to get to this place? Because I mean, if we didn't mention, you are the all-time leading assist guy at Cardinal Ritter,
Yes.
and it's like with that alone, you come in college with some cachet.
Yeah.
Was there any type of learning curve, or tell the audience about what it was like stepping into Missouri Baptist as a freshman after having a stellar high school career at Cardinal Ritter?
It was a first thing it was a culture shock. Obviously, Cardinal Ritter, that's an all black school. Missouri Baptist is total opposite. So one day I
Mm-hmm.
had to it was just a different little culture shock. Two, on the basketball scene, I had to learn how to play a different style of play. At Cardinal Ritter, we were more up tempo, get in, you press, get after you. At Missouri Baptist, the coach that recruited me, we played more of a half court style. He recruited a lot of European players to play through the post with shooters everywhere. And his thought process was, me being a point guard, getting in the paint, can kind of find everything. He kind of wanted to play more of a half court style. So I had to adjust to the game being a little bit slower than I normally like to play.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't a great shooter in high school from three. I was more get downhill, kick it, find people and score, get to the basket, floaters, mid range, stuff like that. So when I got to college, teams would kind of play off me from three. You know what I'm saying? There's scouting reports then, it's film, it's a little different. So I say I kind of, it was hard to adjust my freshman year to like how we were playing because of the style of play.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say just the style of play from how I was taught in high school, then went to college, it was just two different type of styles of it was different. It was totally
Yeah.
different. I just had to find a way to adjust. So I had to get in the gym and become a better outside shooter, catch and shoot. Because our post player was an All American, so we played through him. It was really
Mm-hmm.
good. So teams would double off of me, and my coach wanted me to be able to knock down an open three because he know I can get in the paint and find people. So once that opened up, I'll be able to make open shots. I could kind of do my thing, get in the paint, find people and do what I like to do.
Mm-hmm. So even just like I said, just all of the like the achievements coming from a stellar program like that, and we're kind of talking about making that transition, but on the same note, where you the type of kid that, I mean, obviously the point guard and the head coach really have to be kind of lock and sync with what's going on. Were there things at Missouri Baptist that put you in a position to be able to become a great leader or a good leader? Like, were there, like, how can I put it? Where, for instance, for me, like I was more of a scorer in high school. I had to transition to learn how to be a point guard. So it
Yeah,
was times where a lot, coaches would pull me to the side. And a lot of times about being a point guard is just about management. Can
yeah,
you manage the team? Can you manage to see, okay, who's hot right now? Who's the, who should have this shot? Checking off, okay, the post, this guy's can't make a free throw, so I'm not going to throw it to him. I need to get it to this guy. Were there instances or things that made you a better leader to help being able to lead a college program? Did you learn like a certain moment in high school that just said, man, you know what, man, I can be a great leader at the next level? Or was there a situation in college that put you in a position that said, you know what, I have to be respected enough to lead these guys? Like, how was that process being a highly touted high school player to becoming a player? Now you got to play a role at the college level. So kind of break down and tell folks about that.
yeah. It was an adjustment for sure. In high school, like I said, I wasn't really like a vocal leader.
Right.
I was more kind of lead by example. That's just who I was. When I got to the college level, my college coach wanted me to be a little bit more vocal. That was kind of his big thing. He said, I know you're a talented player, but one thing I don't like is how quiet you are. So like
Mm-hmm.
in practice, we'll be running our select 5-on-0 offense. I got to scream to play loud, like, or if not, everybody on the baseline we running. So he would challenge me to kind of just be a little bit more talkative and say a little bit more things. If I didn't do it, everybody was running for me. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
say that kind of helped me grow into that aspect that they're gonna listen to you. That he just wanted me just to kind of get out of my shell and kind of just take my point guard game to another level. And
Mm-hmm.
during that time, I didn't really understand it. I thought he was kind of picking on me, but he really was trying to help me become a better all around point guard and being a better leader, being a better shooter. Those are the two things he would own me about a lot, and it kind of ended up paying off good for me in my career at Mobile.
So how do you think now? Because again, I want to kind of segue to, I want to kind of tie things together because again, a lot of times we learn basketball from our playing perspective, and we can play as long as we can, but a lot of times, as you start to get older, the body starts to break down, and you
Yeah,
got to use your mind a little bit more. Like I tell people all the time, yeah, I can get out there and play with some 25-year-olds and
yeah,
probably could do decent, but it's going to be a certain time to where my body is not going to allow me to do those things.
yeah,
So with that being said, and being able to make that transition from being a player to a coach, all right, in school, how was you able to balance being a student athlete? Because I think going back to that management part, you have to be able to manage your time being a student athlete, and you got a choice to make. It's going to
yeah,
be 9 o'clock at night. You got study hall, practice, workouts, all of this stuff. Or you the type of person that's going to make the decision to get rest so you can be 110% at practice tomorrow, or you the one that's going to hang out, party, be the live guy on campus and like, I can do this. I'm made for this. Because I've been around guys that's been like that,
yeah.
but I'm trying to get to the aspect of, again, people making that transition from playing to coaching, and you can't have that type of mentality being a good coach,
Right.
having that type of mentality as a player. So what could you say about the balance of being a student athlete at the college level?
Most definitely, it was most definitely different. But me personally, I was never the kind of guy that was kind of out here, especially during those times. I heard like partying and doing things like that. I kind of had a good head on my shoulders. And also just kind of being around the right people in the environment at the school I was at. Just kind of it wasn't one of those type of places anyway. So it was really kind of like you workouts, you done your workouts, you get your homework done, and you kind of might chill with your guys, play 2K or something. Then we're going back to our dorms and stuff like that. So the environment wasn't really like one of those big schools. There was a whole lot of things going on. So I'll say that played a huge part in that as well. Just the environment that I was in. But no, I never was the kind of person that'd stay up late because I wanted to play. I
Right.
wanted to
And
make sure I
you
was.
got to try to make an advantage, create an advantage within your team or your situation that, again, even though we're teammates, we're going against each other. So if I can
Yeah,
get an advantage where you staying out late and I'm getting rest, I'm
yeah.
gonna take getting rest so I can be ready to go at you the next
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. That's
we're
100. That's exactly how it was.
yeah,
And I was very competitive, a little bit too competitive to the point where I didn't even like talking to people that I was competing with. So I was really, really competitive. I took everything serious what I wanted to do with my craft. So you got 4 years to play. After these 4 years of college, nothing is guaranteed after that. So I wanted to make sure I put the best into those 4 years of college. That when I look back on it, I had no regrets.
mhm. What about the serious, like did guys take schooling serious? Did you see trends in that? Because I mean, again, you're a student
Some,
athlete. A lot of
yeah.
guys, you're going there to better yourself, obviously, to get a degree, get an education so you can better your financial situation in the long run. But again, we live in a day and age where everything is flashy, likes, comments, all of this stuff. Did you get guys that were not that serious about what life was going to be like once the ball stopped bouncing?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. There were some guys like that, and I'm just glad that I wasn't. Like I
Mhm.
said, I came from a good family. Parents are always on me, and I appreciate them for that. So, I would just say my upbringing kind of helped me, make sure I stay focused.
Okay. So again, from player to coach, we're going to transition. So these going to be some transition questions I kind of want you to kind of hammer out with the audience. But what do you think is the biggest difference in playing the game of basketball and teaching the game of basketball?
You gotta be a little bit more patient. Obviously, you gotta realize these kids aren't you. They might not, pick up on some of the things that you might be teaching, rather than I could just go out there and do it. You got to have patience. That's one thing I've learned in my young coaching career is to be patient. When I first kind of got into coaching, like right away, I wasn't understanding. Like I'm telling you what to do, you're not doing it. I can go out there and do it. I'm showing you how to do it, but that doesn't matter. I have to find a way for them to understand it. I gotta, change, make some adjustments, do something different. So I just say patience was one thing I'll say from, playing and coaching is what I've learned so far.
Yeah, because you get so many guys, and that's why I used to tell people, even with like somebody like a Kobe Bryant or just somebody who's had a high level of notoriety and accomplishments, it's very, very hard for them to make that transition from playing to coaching, because they're looking at through a lens that just kind of like what you just said, like, man, I can get out here and show you how to do that. Well, the game may have came super easy for you, but
Yeah.
these 12 kids that you got to coach, it may not come easy for them. So can you break it down? Do you have patience? Do you have the ability to not look at a kid right now, but can look at him and say, man, in 2 years, man, he's gonna be all right. We're starting off with coaching. Did you have that mentality going in? Because you talked about patience, but
Yeah.
did you know it would be this amount, like this type of patience that you need to have in order to win over the kids' respect?
Honestly didn't. I really didn't know what I really was. Coaching was never really something that was on my mind. I always thought, me personally, I would be playing for a long time. I'd be playing overseas, or so I just that coaching never was. It never was on my mind like that. I had just so after college, I went and played in a year in the TBL. I don't know if you heard of that. Played a
Mm-hmm.
year in they called the Basketball League. I was on a team in Little Rock. I came back. I remember coming back home just trying to figure out what's next. And I was struggling trying to figure out what that was. Some coaching opportunities came. The assistant coach over at the College of Pharmacy, Danny Brown, he gave me an opportunity to come be his assistant for a year. Then I kind of got into the AAU scene, so I kind of just stopped playing. Just
Mm-hmm.
it was tough. It was tough for me just to accept that I'm not playing anymore. And a lot of my friends like, why you stop playing? We could keep doing it. Like we could, what I'm saying. I struggle like big time with
Mm-hmm.
like with that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody telling me you too good to stop. But I kind of found some love in the coaching side of it, and it's just I haven't looked back since.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, no, I think this is good to kind of share, because again, like I think when we talked earlier, I kind of hinted at and kind of talked about you got guys that at some point, man, the ball is gonna stop bouncing for us, but you need to make sure that you surround yourself with, whether if it's coaches, colleagues, family members that can kind of help you along the way to just let you know, like, man, look, it's gonna be a time you're gonna have to make that transition. So even while you're playing, it's good to, like what you just said, man, coach a little YMCA team, coach a little, sit on somebody's bench and just help them along the way, just for you to find a voice. And you'll be surprised that when kids see that you're still playing, or you're fresh from playing, because it's still on you, you can kind of
yeah,
sense, people can sense that, man, that dude's still in some shape, man.
yeah,
He's still in the mix of what's going on. Where people will see that, and that person would have all of the credibility and all of the kids will listen to him more than they might listen to, it might be a dad coach, or some coach has probably been with them kids, but you could be able to affect or have an impression on the kids more so than the coach would. But
yeah,
guys need to start, and I'm gonna put the challenge out for you, because when people see this, they're gonna say, man, I just saw the interview with Coach and Coach Robinson, and he was talking some stuff. And it's gonna be some guys that's your age that's gonna say, man, why don't I start doing this? Why
right,
don't, because you guys at this age, I have so much to give, and
yeah,
y'all got so much life going on. Like we just talked about, and I was coaching in 2000. I started coaching in 2008, 2007, 2008. Like I'm approaching 20 years at being around the coaching, even though I feel like I can still go. I got fresh ideas. I can still reach the kids. It hasn't got to the point where I'm burnt out. But I'm saying that to say that, guys your age, I want you to go find your friends, some guys that you're real close with, and just carry that message on to where it's just like, guys, man, even some guys that are playing college right now that need to make the transition. I'm always telling these guys, hey man, I need a little help. I need a little help. Hey, I ain't gonna be doing this a long time now.
Right.
But to plant the seed, do you think that that's beneficial for folks to do right now? It's something that to basically carry the line forward, should I say?
100%. Yeah, like I said, it's a lot of guys that just struggle like when basketball is done, like what's next? Because I was one of those guys. So I feel like me being doing what I'm doing, I do honestly feel like a lot of people have seen what I'm doing at a young age, like a young coach, young high school
Mm-hmm.
head coach. People are seeing that like a little closer to my age, and I'm starting to see people ask me questions, and they kind of getting into coaching. So I feel like I've kind of been like a role model just with some people my own peers. I would
Yeah.
say just because they're seeing me having some quick fast success within this coaching thing, and they're like, okay, maybe I can kind of hop in and get in on that. So I do think that it's good to kind of have some people to talk to, and me being doing what I'm doing, I think it can kind of benefit some other people as well.
All right. So let's before we head out, let's talk about the whole coaching world, man, and you reaching the young folks. Do you have like a philosophy that you try to go into a program with to say, look, no matter what, this is what I'm teaching? Because I do, like when I step into situations, no matter if I'm at Beaumont or Gateway or St. Mary's or coaching whatever teams, I try to lay down a foundation like, hey guys, this is what you're gonna get from me. All right. I try to establish I call it like a three peers a tier system, and I learned it from Coach Hamilton, and it was based around poise, pride, and pressure. So and I call it the 3 Ps. And so that right there, if I ever was to get away from whatever I'm doing with a team that I've had, kind of lose my way, I try to keep guys around that hammer home that philosophy. Like, coach, man, you got to make sure that telling kids the 3 Ps, because not only the 3 Ps don't just work for just the court. It's a moniker that I wear on my back when I'm out in the real world. So do you have a philosophy? Do you have things that you're trying to hammer home to some of your teams for them to know, this is Coach Robinson, this is what he stands for? And if
Well,
not, it's cool, because again, you're still trying to grow into this space.
yeah. I would say just our play style, how I like to play, is up tempo. Kind of what I've been accustomed to playing as a player. Is kind of something I've took into my own coaching thing. It's kind of making teams uncomfortable. When
Mm-hmm.
people play Parkway North, our team, they always, coaches always come like, man, your girls, they just play so hard, man. They're all over the place. They're hustling, like they just play hard. So that's kind of something that I kind of approach practice, is just making sure we're always going hard in everything that we do. So just kind of just being a high energy coach, coming in there young, fresh, can kind of get out there with them. So just kind of just someone that just has a lot of energy and just playing hard and just being up tempo. That's kind of like how I like to coach and how we like to play on the floor.
Yeah. No, that's some good stuff, man. Before we leave, I want to do like a rapid fire round with you real quick, if you up to it. All right.
For sure.
I want you to know. All right. So I got a few questions I want you to kind of let folks know about. So what was your favorite gym to play in growing up, and why?
Favorite gym to play in growing up, I would probably say the Center St. Louis. Is called the Center St. Louis. It used to be
All
called
right.
Sports Center. Kind of
Yeah.
when I was growing up, we used to always play up there on court 3. I don't know why it was. That was just my favorite court. We had
That's
just a
the course
lot
as
of.
soon as you walking down the steps,
As
right?
soon
And
as you
that's the
walk down
main one. Okay.
the main one. So I played a lot of big games, AAU. Just had a lot of success on that court. So I'd probably say growing up, court 3 at the Center St. Louis, probably the place I would like to play. I just something about those rims. I just had good games on that court right there.
Man, that's
I'll
good
go with that
stuff.
one.
What about who is the toughest player that you've ever guarded, and why?
Toughest player I've ever guarded. Um, Toughest player I've ever guarded. That's a good question.
St. Louis, man, it's some, because
I
your
could
era
name
was
a
like
lot of
who was,
guys in St. Louis.
or it don't even have to be in St. Louis. Like I said,
Yeah,
this your answer. This you gonna tell the people Who was hard to guard?
I would say it was this guy I played in the TBL. Can't necessarily remember his name. He played in Nebraska, Omaha. He was really good there. He was a quick little shifty guard. I think he hit me up for like 35, 36. He was quick. I just couldn't get to his mid range. He was just kind of he was tough to guard, man. He's really. I think he's still playing overseas right now. I can't think of his name, but I'll probably say that might have been one of the toughest guys I had to guard because it's on that in the TBL thing. It's like NBA rules. You can't be in help. It's no zone, so you got to guard your man.
Yeah.
So like you getting exposed a little bit. So I'll probably go with that. I'll probably say that guy there. I don't know his name though.
Who is it? Who is a kid? And again, this can be from the past, from the future, somebody you see coming up that is a player that you wish that you can coach or train. Is it somebody that just sticks out and just be like, man, I wish I would have had a chance to work with him because I could have taught him so much, or you just been a fan of that you just like, man, I wish I can get in and just show you some little things that I think can help your game. Is there someone that you wish you could train or have coached that you can kind of, you know,
Yeah, it's the
throw out there?
kid. He you may have known he passed away. He went to his name was Cam. I think he went to Central
Mm-hmm.
CPA or something like that. It was U City kid, really good. Ended up passing away due to some things. I think if I wish I could have kind of got to him as a coach and kind of helped to guide him in some different ways. That's somebody I think he had a ton of potential as a player. That's somebody that I wish if we could go back. I was because I'm young. I'm not that too much older, but I'm just saying like if I was an older coach, that's somebody
Right.
that I feel like I would have went and got and kind of made sure things went a little different.
Right. Yeah. Nah, man. Uh, last two. What is your go-to pregame song? Now you finna show your age now, because I'm gonna have some kids kind of chime in and be like, "Man, coach, who you have on there talking about swag surfing, man?" Nah,
Right. Go
what's your
to
go-to song?
go to song. I'm a ride wave guy, so I'm
Okay.
always listening to ride. I probably say Ride Wave, West Side Connection. That's a song I listen to a lot. Now since I'm in the coaching thing, it's the same thing, but I always got my beats on coming to
Right.
the games. So I probably say West Side Connection by Ride Wave.
Bet. All right. Last thing, I want you to tell everybody, man. What is your favorite basketball movie of all time?
Favorite basketball movie of all time. Hmm. I guess we'll go with Love and Basketball.
All right, man. Love and basketball, man. That's. I thought you was gonna say something like Coach Carter or something like that, man. From
Yeah,
Coach Nick
yeah,
running
I
the
just I don't
ship
know how I forgot
like
about
that.
that, Coach. No, in fact, I take that back. It's kind of that was on the fly. I can really think. Coach
Coach
Carter.
Carter,
I'm gonna go with Coach Carter and
man.
Hurricane
I wasn't even trying
in
to throw that out
Hurricane
there, man.
season. In Hurricane season,
Okay.
them two, I'm gonna go them two. Coach Carter and Hurricane season probably the best two basketball. But Love and Basketball that's more of a different type of thing. But if we just going strictly,
Yeah, I mean it's
that's
about relationships, and then I think
it's about,
everybody should have a love relationship with basketball at a certain point until you transition and find like the love of your life, somebody you're gonna marry,
so it
or
got some good messages in Love and
Oh,
Basketball.
without a doubt. No, that's a deep one. Because it didn't get a lot of the cachet of like some of the big Hollywood blockbuster movie. I remember actually going to see that in the movie theaters when that came out. So
Okay.
I'm really showing my age, man. So but the way we do things here though, man, I want to make sure that the world, my audience, man, know that we giving you your flowers right now, man. From afar, like I said, from just a coach, from a player, just standing back, watching you grow up, got a lot of respect for your family, a lot of respect for your pops, and just showing us like this generation how to handle a child, like how to handle the son that's playing sports. And because like I said, man, shout out to your pops, man, because he's been real instrumental in this space. Like I said, youth basketball, St. Louis basketball, officiating. Like I'm a big advocate for making sure that we give respect to the referees, respect to everybody that decides to help out the youth in this space, because again, we know that it's not a lot of them. We're not doing this to get rich. We're doing this to give back. We're doing this we have a ton of knowledge in us that we just trying to get it out. And like I said, just watching you grow up, watching your pops, watching your upbringing, man, I'm very, very proud of you. I want you to continue to, to strive to, you got in at the right time. You young, you got energy, man. Do this till the wheels fall off. And just know, man, you're gonna really, really appreciate what you're doing right now. 5 years, 10 years, when that first group of kids come back to wherever you are, Parkway may not be your final destination. You're gonna have other places gonna be your final destination, that you're gonna have people come back that you're gonna touch, that you've made an impact in their lives. And it's not gonna hit you now, but it's gonna hit you when you see them and you get called for a wedding. You get called for, they just had their child. Man, that's the stuff that hit home, and that it means something. It's like, man, this stuff is not done in vain. So
Yeah.
hats off to you, man. I'm proud of you. I want you to continue to strive for greatness. I'm here for you, whatever you need. Like I said, I'm one phone call away, man. I appreciate you taking the time out to do this. I know we've been saying we was going to do it, but I want to make sure that we shine some light on Jahmouri Robinson, head coach of Parkway North. What is Parkway North? What is that? That's the Panthers. What?
Vikings.
The Vikings. All right, the Vikings, man. So before we leave, man, anything you want to throw out there, man, a message, your socials, how folks can reach you, like, this is the time to do it. But again, I appreciate you, man, for taking the time out being on here.
No, I just say, I appreciate you having me on here first and foremost. I like talking about stuff like this. My past, like you said, you don't want things to go to waste. So I love doing things like this. I'll just say, I do also do like skills training and stuff like that. So if anybody would like to reach me, could reach me at Coach J Mo on Instagram. So that's the only thing really all I would have to say.
All right. Hey, them girls need to tap in with Coach J. That y'all need to get in with them, get that training in. And then so we got when does the season start for you guys? Let everybody know when y'all kick off, because we start November 28th. So let everybody know when you kick off.
Her first home game, play Parkway West. It's gonna be a huge game. They got us pretty bad last year, so we kind of itching for that one, to see them first game opening night at Parkway North, November 27th. Yeah.
All right, y'all tap in to Coach Robinson, man. Again, man, thank you for being. I normally end with making sure that I'm gonna put that up here, that you're grateful for every sunrise and thankful for every sunset, because I think a lot of times, man, we kind of get lost in the shuffle, man, and we don't appreciate or give blessings to even us waking up in the morning and then being in a space where we can kind of relax, go to bed at night, and have everything kind of squared away for us. So make sure you're grateful for, again, every sunrise and thankful for every sunset. Coach Robinson, Bryan Turner Basketball Podcast, man. Appreciate you guys tapping in with us, and I will catch you on the next video.
Sure.